love coming to hang out here at Prime Time, and I also love meeting new people. So if I haven't got a chance to meet you, make sure you come say hi to me before you guys leave. We are talking about Bae Goals, and now ever since Chad said bagels, I'm just going to feel like I'm saying Bae Goals, so don't laugh at me, but I have a feeling it's going to happen tonight. But we are talking about dating and stuff like that, so let's just get it out on the table. I want to see who's in the room tonight. So if you are taken, you are in a relationship, can I go ahead and just see your hand, raise them up, proud? I mean, it's Facebook official. Is that still a thing, Facebook official? Probably not. You guys have like a little lock and key in your Instagram bio, maybe? Who actually has that? Admit it if you have a lock and key with like the date of you guys been dating. You guys have, oh my gosh, I knew there would be one. I didn't know if that was just, oh, okay, the date at least. But it's like a real junior high thing, I guess. Like I work with the junior high ministry, but all the junior high kids, like they put that little like lock and key emoji and then the date. And then it's taken down a week later because they're in middle school. But that's just how it is. But if you guys are single in this room, go ahead and admit it. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, keep them up, keep them up. Go ahead and look around if you're interested. Now you get to know. You don't have to ask. They're single. All right. Go ahead and this is going to take maybe a little bit of boldness, but if you've never dated in your life and you're really still not really interested in dating, if that's you, raise your hand. Anybody not dated, not interested in dating? 1, 2, all right. Wherever you are on the spectrum, I think that this series is for you, okay? You can be single like a Pringle and ready to mingle, or you can be locked up. Whichever you are, I think this series is for you, and I think that tonight is for you. And I love these conversations. These conversations are fun as a communicator because like relationships are fun. And maybe these are the kind of conversations that you guys pay more attention to because you either are dating, you have dated, or some of you guys are praying that you soon will date. So these kind of conversations are fun. And then, so the whole thing is Bae Goals. And let's face it, if you're going to have a Bae, then we need to have some Bae Goals, not bagels. Again, Chad ruined it for me. But we need some Bae Goals, right? We don't want just any Bae. We want the Bae that walks into the room and we all do this. Yup, that's Bae, right? There's a difference. Like you can be dating somebody and not have, yup, that's Bae, right? We all want that kind of person. So it's important to have some Bae Goals, and we're going to talk about some of that tonight. Yeah, so tonight I'm going to kick off the series, and the title of this little talk, if you had to name it, would be Thirsty. Okay, now hold on a second, because I know thirsty has a lot of negative connotation to it. It has a lot of negative tone to it, and a lot of people wouldn't want to be called thirsty. So for tonight, we're going to call thirsty simply as wanting attention, okay? That's where we're going to leave it. I know that there's probably a little more to it. I'm not oblivious, but tonight, whenever I say thirsty, I'm going to say that means that we want attention, right? And if we're all honest in this room tonight, that we all could say that we've been a little thirsty sometimes. We all kind of want some attention sometimes. And there's plenty of different kinds of people with this, and I'm sure you guys know some of these. You don't have to call them out or anything like that, but there's the guy that tries way too hard, right? Do we know anybody like that? You don't have to point them out, but am I way off? Like there's always a guy that tries way too hard. He's just proven to be thirsty. We all know that there's the girl that has a different boyfriend like every other week because she just wants attention, and if he's not... I see pointing. I'm not going to say it. You don't have to call them out, but we all know those people that could be considered a little thirsty. Have you guys ever heard of this phrase? It's called peacocking. I know I said peacock, be a little more mature than that, but peacocking is basically when people try to attract people by dressing like kind of outrageous and stuff like that. Have you guys heard about this? This is a real thing that people dress kind of outrageously to attract people to them. It's called peacocking. I would say if you're peacocking and you're dressing outrageous just to get somebody's attention, you might just be a little thirsty. Again, just meaning you want attention, right? So we all know these people. There's those people that post the pictures on Instagram just for attention. And we're not talking like just like you post it on Instagram. Like you post on Instagram at the right time because you know it's like the time for the prime amount of likes. You know what I mean? Like we're talking like 8 o'clock on Tuesday. We know like somehow you guys have like the whole infrastructure figured out where you know when you can get the mass amount of likes. And then if they don't have enough likes, they delete the picture, right? We know that person. They might just be a little thirsty if that's happening. And then I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Don't be mad at me. But we know that those pictures that say, like, wish it were summer and you're in a bikini, we know that that's because you might just be a little thirsty. That's not the only picture you took that whole summer, right? Like, no, it got kind of quiet in here. Okay, I'm going to move on. But the guys are guilty too, all right? Guys, I see the pictures where you're like, hashtag no flex zone, and you're clearly flexing, okay? We know you guys are guilty too. If we do these things, you might be a little thirsty. Here's one that might get us. If you've ever posted a picture anywhere besides Snapchat with a Snapchat filter, you might be a little thirsty. I'm talking to you, puppy filter. You guys know what I'm talking about? The puppy filter. How basic. You might be a little thirsty if you're posting that not on Snapchat. But I get it. This is a real thing. If we're real honest tonight, we might like the attention that some of these things bring us. And if you're guilty of any of those things, I'm not trying to shame you or anything like that. It's actually really, really normal to like attention. It's really normal to want people to like you and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to guilt you or anything like that. Actually, I'm kind of guilty of this. Like, I've been thirsty before, I'm going to admit it. No, like, I don't post pictures without my shirt on because I would just lose all my followers. But I have been thirsty before. Many of you guys know that I recently got married not too long ago. Today was actually our 6-month date of 6 months of us being married, and she's not here tonight. So, yeah. So I've been married for 6 months, so I have everything figured out. You can believe everything that I'm saying. I mean, she's not here, but she would totally agree if she were here. So whenever Molly and I were dating, like I was a little bit thirsty, I'm not going to lie, because I liked Molly before Molly liked me. So here's what happened. Molly and I worked at the same church whenever we first started dating. Whenever we first started talking, we'll say, all right? You know, talking is like after you like each other, but before it's Facebook official, before we had the little lock and key in our Instagram bios. We don't really have those, so you can check. Follow me at Chris_Houchens. Wow, I'm trying to get the likes up. A little thirsty. Anyways, so Molly and I worked at the same church, but we worked in 2 different departments. So I would work in the student ministries during the day, and then I was a janitor at night. Yes, I was a janitor. I was a heck of a catch. I don't know why Molly wasn't into me. So I was being a janitor and working as a student ministries coordinator at the time, and Molly worked in another department with a young adult discipleship program. So basically, Molly and I had separate office areas, so I would have to come up with excuses to go visit Molly in her office, of course. So I might have been a little thirsty, like whenever I was a janitor, like I might have cleaned her trash like 2 or 3 times that day. You know, who knows? She was always throwing stuff away. I would leave like little notes on her desk whenever she wasn't there, just so she would, you know, think of me whenever I was working, you know. She digged my like walkie-talkie that I got to wear though. Don't let her fool you. But I might have been a little bit thirsty trying to get Molly's attention a little bit. Luckily, she shared an office with one of my good friends, so it was kind of easy for me. But that was kind of like my life at the time. I was trying to get Molly's attention. I was trying to, you know, let her know that she was going to be Bae, you know. So I've been there. I've been thirsty. We all like this positive attention, right? It's completely normal. We like the positive attention. We like whenever people like us, even if we don't like them back, and then we have to like go through the awkward, like, you have a really great personality, or you're a really good guy, right? So we like the attention, and it's completely normal. We like being told that we're hot, right? Or at least I've been told that it's nice to be told that you're hot. But we like getting the compliments and stuff like that. We might all agree that we might be a little thirsty for compliments and stuff like that. But it's completely normal. We all like these kind of things. But there's still some of you out there that's going to deny that you might be a little bit thirsty, but you're going to be shown true, like your true colors are going to be shown this time next month whenever you're like mad that nobody sent you chocolates. Like we're on to you, right? Like everybody gets a little thirsty, and all that to say this, that it's really easy to want to be with somebody. It's really easy to want the attention. It's really easy to want to feel secure in a relationship. It's really nice to have, like, if anybody goes to your bio, they see that little lock and key. They know, they see the date. They know, like, don't go into my inbox because you see the lock and key, you know? But tonight I want to challenge us a little bit on how we go about pursuing somebody. And when we start looking for Bae, and like I said, like we want, like, that's Bae, not just anybody. We don't want anybody that's just run of the mill. So whenever we have this, whenever we're searching for Bae, we kind of have a list of requirements, right? We have our likes and our dislikes. And usually for guys, this is how it goes. We want a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl that doesn't have an older brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want a good-looking girl with a brother that's not going to beat us up. That's normally, like, a guy's likes and dislikes. And a girl, they're going to say, like, I want a guy that's really sweet and caring and, you know, and I want to feel secure around them, you know? Like, but really, like, girls are the exact same. Girls want, like, the 6'1" quarterback with biceps like boulders. You know what I'm saying? Like, girls just aren't as honest about it as guys. But we kind of have this list of things that we would want Bae to have someday. But whatever's on your list, and whatever, if your list is written out or if it's just in your mind somewhere, we have some requirements for Bae. But if I'm real honest tonight, I kind of have a fear, and my fear is this. My fear is that we spend so much time thinking about what we want in someone else that we don't spend that much time thinking about what we're going to be for someone else. So are we taking time to look in the mirror to even see if we're worth dating? Like that's a really kind of harsh way to put it. But are we somebody, like we want somebody who's going to be caring and thoughtful and all this, but are we spending time on ourselves to make ourselves people that are dateable, people that other people would want to search out? So tonight we're going to read a scripture. And some of you guys have heard the scripture before, I'm sure. Some of you guys might not have. It's okay. And I know, like, the whole thing with, like, scripture and dating and stuff like that is that, like, dating didn't happen in scripture. So basically, I'm just going to go ahead and, like, admit that, like, this scripture isn't about dating, but it's completely relevant, all right? Like, back in the day in the Bible, like, you just got, like, married off to whoever gave your dad the most goats. Or if you were a soldier, like, you, like, took a spoil of war and, like, stole somebody else's girl. Like, that's just how it happened. It was the original Mr. Steal Your Girl. Is that still a thing? No? Okay. But even though the scripture isn't exactly talking about dating, it's completely relevant because what we want out of dating is ultimately love, right? Everybody wants love. And we want the, like, I love you, baby text. Like, we want that, like, good night, baby, love you. Like, oh, like, whenever he sends those, or whenever we open those guys. Like, that's what we want. It's like, we want love. And not, like, the text where they're, like, ILY. Like, that doesn't count. Like, the love ya, the LUV. No, like, those don't count either. Like, we want that LOVE, love. Like, we want I love you, baby text. Am I right? Am I wrong about that? Like, that's the ultimate goal, right? So we want these love texts. So we're going to go to the chapter to this chapter in Scripture that's called the love chapter. Actually, it's 1 Corinthians 13. And we're just going to read verse 4 and 5. And it says this. It says, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrong. So let's just pause there for a second. This is the ultimate goal. This describes love, and we would say that love is probably the ultimate goal of why we would date somebody. So let's just take a quick moment real quick, or a quick moment to just see what this actually means. So love is patient. So basically love isn't impatient, obviously, if it's patient. And love doesn't force itself. Love's patient. Love is kind, so obviously love isn't mean, it's not rude or anything like that. It's not proud, so love doesn't only care about itself and what it can get. It's love. It's not proud. Love does not dishonor others, and love is not self-seeking, meaning love cares about more than just itself. Love is caring about the other person more than you care about yourself. It's not easily angered. Love keeps no records of wrongdoing. So let me ask you this question. Does this describe who you are in a relationship, or does it describe the person that you're dating? And we already talked about how me and Molly, we're talking. If you want to get past just talking and actually have like a real life relationship and you want love, then hopefully this does. Hopefully this describes you and the kind of person that you're dating. So as I said, the goal is we want love. This is the love chapter. This defines love. But again, I'm so worried that we might be so worried about what we want in others that we don't really think about what we want for ourselves. And I know I kind of switched gears and things are getting kind of real, but let me just tell you my one and only point tonight. My one and only point is this, that becoming someone is better than being with somebody. Becoming the person who others want to search out, becoming the person that describes love, becoming the person that embodies love is way better than just being with someone. It's just having a bae. But being bae is way better than just being with somebody. Encompassing love and becoming love to somebody else is so much better than just having the lock and key in the bio, than just making it Facebook official, than just putting that date on the Instagram profile. Actually becoming the person that somebody else would want to date is so much better than just rushing into a relationship and just being with somebody. And it's easy to want to be with somebody. It takes a little bit more work to become somebody that somebody else wants to be with. So I have a few takeaways and then I'm done. So I'm just going to wrap up. Actually, the worship team can start coming up. I'm almost done. So a couple of things. If this list, again, we all kind of admit that we probably have a list of things that we want to see in our bae. We want them to be tall, and we want our friends to like them, and we want them to have a good sense of humor. We would admit that we probably have that list. But if we read this list tonight of what a bae would be to us, of what love would be, if this list doesn't sound like you, then I would consider spending some time to develop yourself rather than time developing a relationship. That's real, I know. But if love isn't something that describes you, then I would take a pause before I got into a relationship. And if you're in a relationship and this doesn't sound like you, then I would consider apologizing to your bae and then becoming somebody. If you want to stay in that relationship, then it's important to become that person rather than just be in a relationship and do what you want. And I'm not here to break anybody up, relax or anything like that. But if this doesn't sound like your relationship, then maybe it is time to reconsider who you're with. I'm not trying to break you up or make anybody leave in tears or anything like that. But all I'm saying is that being somebody is way more important than being with somebody. And I know that we're young, we like to date, we like to have fun and stuff like that, but ultimately if the goal is love, if the goal is to have somebody that's going to treat you right, if the goal is going to be to have somebody who you can be secure in a relationship, then hopefully they sound like this. But ultimately being somebody who pleases God is 1,000 times better than being somebody that is pleasing to bae. So again, becoming someone truly is better than being with somebody.